Welcome to Formosa Dream Chasers.
We're your hosts, Mary Anne
and Ching-en.
Please join us as we explore the journeys amazing people take in pursuit of their dreams.
And get insights from their experiences.
Let's hit the road
and get started.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. As you're well aware, this show is about people from all walks of life sharing their journeys in pursuit of their dreams. Now, when we talk about dreams, we know that dreams come in all forms, shapes, and sizes. Today's guest shares with us how he was able to fulfill his dream of finding true love.
As we all know, relationship isn't easy. There are many single people out there who are still looking for love and a life partner. And yet our guest will share with us how he was able to defy all odds and go against what some deem to be social norms to be with his life partner. Without further ado, please welcome our guest, Ethan Chao. Ethan, please say hi and tell us what we will be chatting about today.
Hello, my name is Ethan and I'm 28. I'm married to my British partner, Andrew Goodyear. I'm happy to be sharing my cross-cultural and cross-generational story with everyone.
Thanks, Ethan, for coming in and for talking about this pretty personal story with us. And before our chat, I would like to include a content warning that we may talk about some sensitive topics. And since we will be delving into your personal story, I definitely want to make clear that Ching-en and I wish to be respectful. So our intention here is to learn and better understand your journey. And so when we ask questions or when we inadvertently say something that makes you uncomfortable, please do let us know. Is this okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine, no problem.
Okay, great. Ethan, tell us a little bit about yourself. You mentioned you're 28, you're Taiwanese,
Yep.
and you're married to your husband. How old is he?
He is going to be 80 this year.
Okay, so give us a little bit about your background.
I'm from Miaoli, a very small place. People there sort of generally feel homosexuality is a sort of taboo or something. Not all of them, of course, but a lot of people are, including some of my family members. But my immediate family is quite surprisingly supportive, especially my dad. He sustains a lot of pressure from his parents, his siblings to protect me, really. So I'm grateful to him for all he does for me.
So when did you find out that you were gay, and when did you come out as a gay person?
I don't know if I actually came out. I thought I was gay when I was in secondary school, junior high, and at the time, because in my class, boys would be watching sort of naughty videos together, and they would share those videos with me as well. And I was thinking, I'm not sure I like to watch the female body, and I realized I was sort of focusing on the male part. And at the time, I was thinking, I don't know, maybe I was just curious. But then, because I was a bit paranoid, so I did a lot of Googling, and I realized when I saw the word homosexuality, I thought, is that me? Because if so, I also read a lot of horrible comments online, so I thought, I hope I'm not one of those people. And that bugged me really badly, and I was terribly depressed. And my father picked this up and took me to see a psychiatrist, and I started my first counseling session, and I talked to a therapist, and she was very reassuring. She said, it's fine, it's no problem, even if that's the case, it's not the end of the world. You're not the only person that goes through this, it's normal. And after a series of counseling sessions, I thought I have to tell my dad something, because he was the only person I had in the family, but I wasn't sure how he would be responding to this. So I sort of approached it in a very sensitive way. One day before I went to school, he was taking me in the car, and I was tying my shoelaces, and I said, what happens if I don't like girls? And he didn't say anything, so I thought, is he angry with me? And he didn't talk to me for a few days, and about a couple of days later after that, he sort of said this in a nonchalant way. He said, it doesn't matter who you like so long as you're happy. And until much later, I realized that week he didn't talk to me. He was seeing different specialists as well himself. And he was watching some gay films and was reading some books about relationships with gay people to figure out what it was about. And so he decided it was just normal, and I couldn't choose to not be gay, even if I wanted to. So he just accepted it. But like I said earlier, in Miaoli, it was sort of frowned upon. So I didn't really talk about it with my classmates, because I've seen a lot of my fellow students got bullied because of their
sexual orientation. education.
because some of them were sort of open about it and they got bullied.
Mm.
And I didn't want to be one of those people. So I kept all this to myself until I went to university, where people were a lot more friendly and they didn't even bat an eyelid when I said, oh, I like men. And they said, oh, good for you, which is
Right.
very different to how people would approach this in Miaoli. So
I'm curious because I didn't grow up in Taiwan. Maybe Ching-en can also like give your input. I'm curious what your impression of Taiwanese society was like during the 2000s or 2010s when you were growing up. What was it like, would you say, for people growing up as a gay person in Taiwan at the time? Is it correct to say that it's quite conservative?
Yeah, I would say that because, you know, Taiwan a few years ago were trying to push for the legalization of same-sex marriage in the legislature, and many lawmakers actually face tons of pressures from the public, even though some legislators who are more open about these issues cannot openly say that they are supportive of same-sex relationship.
So based on what you said, just to summarize, at the time you were growing up, homosexuality wasn't openly discussed among your peers because if they were, then they were bullied or looked upon differently.
yeah, I think, well, obviously I cannot speak for other people or people from different places, but in Miaoli, children can be cruel. Teenagers can be very
Yes.
cruel to people who are different to each other.
Right.
And yes, at the time, I tried to sort of act sort of straight with other
Right.
people just to protect myself. But it was very stressful because I knew that wasn't how I wished to present myself. But that was sort
Right.
of the mechanism I had to use to keep myself from the sort of bullying behavior from other people.
But you know what? I have to say, I really admire your dad. First of all, the fact that he looked into it, he was proactive in understanding the situation more before he actually said anything. I totally admire him for that because I feel, again, this is my perspective, I feel that a lot of traditional Taiwanese parents wouldn't even do that. Most of them would probably just say that's not okay and just immediately make a judgment without actually looking into it a little bit more or understanding the situation. And considering what we talked about in terms of the times, your dad was very progressive.
Yeah, and I remember he said one thing to sort of comfort me as well. He said, don't worry about having children because I've got 2 other sons to do that. So.
That's really nice of him. That's great.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most concerned issue in most Taiwanese family because traditionally, deep rooted with this this idea that we must have our next generations, and so if you are
Continuing
gay,
on,
how
yeah.
can we make babies?
Continuing on the lineage, the passing on the
Yeah,
surname.
and
I see.
also they care about if that's the biological.
The DNA is
Yeah,
actually
DNA,
passed
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Okay, I see.
So from your life here in Taiwan, how did you end up in the UK and meeting your husband?
It was a bit of a weird one because he was actually a friend's friend. I met this friend online and we worked together for a bit and he asked me if I wanted to go to the UK to visit him. So I thought I'll do so. But when I actually got to the airport, Heathrow Airport in London, my friend never turned up. Instead, it was my husband. He came to pick me up and said, oh, so-and-so couldn't come and get you, so
Here I am.
And I was thinking at the time, I barely know you. I'm not sure if I want to go with you. So I was thinking, oh, should I just jump on the next plane to go back to Taiwan? But I thought at the time, oh, he is quite old. I can probably fight him. So, I thought, okay, I will go. And then we were traveling together. And over the course of the month I was there, I started to sort of like him. But at the time I was thinking, no, I'm not going to say anything because I wasn't sure if it was just something that happened, like a chance encounter. I thought I liked him because I was with him all the time, or I actually wanted to be with him. So I decided to give it some more thought after I returned to Taiwan and then see how this whole thing would go. And 6 months later, he decided to come to Taiwan to see me. And again, we were doing various things together. We went out to see different things, went to different places. And at the time, I was sort of sure I quite liked him, but the age difference was a problem for me as well. So at the time, I asked a friend of his called Robert if I should say something to Andy and say if I should tell him how I feel and maybe start a relationship. But I also told him my concern regarding the age difference and things. And then he said, well, if you like him, you should say something. Life is too short. You shouldn't waste time unduly. So I thought, okay, I'm going to say something to him. But I was waiting for the moment, and I did tell him one morning, I remember. And after hearing what I said, he said, no. I don't want a relationship with you. And I thought, oh, why is that? Do you not like me? Am I getting the wrong messages? Because I thought you liked me too. He said, oh, I do very much, but I don't think it's very fair to you because of the age difference. I won't be able to support you for very long, and you need to be with someone much younger rather than somebody my age. So he was trying to protect me, and at the time I convinced him. I said, well, let's just give it a go, and if you don't like it, later we can drop it. And I don't mind the age difference myself, so if you don't, then you can try. And then he said he still wasn't sure, but then he got convinced, and we started to have a relationship, and it went well. And because at the time I was still at university, so things were fine. I could go and see him when I was on school break or university breaks, and he could come and see me too. But we decided to get married because I finished university. I will be starting working, so I will not be able to travel to see him, or when he comes to visit me, I wouldn't be able to show him around. So we decided we need to see how we are going to get this relationship going, because if neither of us is going to move to each other's country, then we probably won't be able to keep this relationship, because at the time I was sort of fed up with long distance relationship already, and I found it really difficult to maintain it. So we decided to get married.
Okay, so just to make sure my understanding is clear, you guys met while you were still in university.
Yes.
And then you met when you went to the UK. And how long were you there for?
I was there for about a month.
And then he later came to Taiwan to visit you.
Yes.
So, like, dating-wise, how long were you guys together?
Before we got married?
Yeah.
3 years.
I totally hear you on the long distance relationship part. Like, that's so not easy. So, okay, 3 years, you decided that, okay, if this is going to work, we got to be in the same place. And so that's why you decided to get married, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Totally makes sense. So you were the first one to confess your feelings.
Yes.
Okay, I have to ask now. You spent 1 month with him, and what was your first impression of him? And then what was the impression after you got to know him a little better?
He was very kind when I first met him. More like at the time when he came to pick me up, I saw him more like a family member, somebody who was very kind, an elderly person. I didn't have any romantic feelings towards him. But it was over the course of the month that I sort of started to feel strange, because I thought, how could I like somebody so different to me in every way? That is why I wanted some time to think everything over.
I'm glad you took that time. What did you like about him? You mentioned you were attracted to Andrew. So what in particular did you find very attractive about him?
I think it was and still is his personality, really, because he was just incredibly kind to me and to everyone. And he was just very, very, generally very, very kind and patient, and would let me do whatever I wanted to do. Even when we were just friends, and later when we were seeing each other properly, he would give me all the freedom I wanted to do whatever I wanted, and he would never say no, unless it's something that is sort of dangerous or my safety is at risk. Otherwise, he would never say no to anything I want to do.
We hope you guys are enjoying our chat with Ethan so far. We continue with Ethan's journey next week as he shares with us the challenges he and his husband faced, from the age disparity to the discrimination they get, and how they overcame these difficulties.
Ethan also shares what he has learned and gives some relationship advice for people still looking for love based on his experiences. So do remember to tune in and listen to our next episode.
Again, this is Ching-en
And Mary Anne. See you guys next Sunday. Bye.